Welcome back to an all-new episode of Rich and Ben, the Sober Men, the podcast. It's very warm. We're recording on a Monday morning. It's lovely and warm. Ben, are you in a T-shirt? How you doing?
I'm very well. I'm not in a T-shirt. I've dug out the old black linen number for episode 14. I put it on and felt like David Copperfield, look into my eyes. And Rita was like, can you do another button-up? I think she thought John Travolta had joined her for Cocoa Pops. But yeah, I've gone a bit of linen. It's bloody warm. I've been out with Betty for her little dog walk already before it got scorchio. So we did a little 20 minutes, but bless her. She was panting. I was panting. So we came back and just enjoyed some water. But yeah, it's lovely. And I forget it's bank holiday. You know, we've said before, haven't we? Like bank holidays, we're usually the drinkathon, the drink fest.
Yeah.
But that just doesn't enter my psyche anymore, which is lovely. But yeah, for people who are off work today, it's lovely, isn't it? Nice hot weather, and it just puts a little spring in your step. But it's been a good week. We've had a good week, haven't we, Rich? Are you good? You're looking as well as ever.
Mate, I'm really good, and it is, like you said, it's we're recording this on bank holiday, and it is lovely and hot. And I don't want to be one of those kind of like, hey, look at my exercise progress on Instagram. But I will say, because I'm only going to say this because I've never done this before. I woke up at 7 a.m. on Sunday morning, and I went and I did a 5K. A 5K at 7, mate. I've never done that in my life, and I thought to myself, I said to Jem, my wife, Jem, I said, I'm going to get up at 7 tomorrow. I'm going to do a 5K before my meeting, and she went, okay. And I don't think she believed that I was going to do it, but sure enough, there I was up. And do you know what, it was so nice. And because I thought, if I don't do it at 7 a.m, I'm not going to do it, because it's going to get really hot during the day, and then the other option is to do it later in the evening, which I'm not going to do. Let's be honest.
Hey, not with that new telly bed. That's not happening, is it?
Exactly. So I thought, I'll do it. I'll get up and I'll go and do this run, and saying good morning to people walking their dogs and stuff. And it surprised me the amount of people that were up and about at 7 a.m, like having a lovely old morning. Like everyone's you know what it's like, this nice weather that we've been having. It's everyone's a lot more friendly and a lot more jovial spirits, aren't they?
People seem a lot happier. But mate, that is like respect, and it's a good feeling, isn't it? Like, I'd rather be knackered later, having done my exercise first thing. You've done, the endorphins have kicked in, and you're feeling great for the day. Did you feel really good? Like, did you have a good meeting? Were you buzzing? And
yeah, it did. Well, what it does, I find, because running, I'm not the best runner. I don't have the best engine. I never have had. And now I'm sort of approaching 50-ish soon. and I thought, it's not, I can't go hell for leather like I might once have been able to. But it just gives you that kind of, those endorphins, that dopamine, that kind of gets released. And then so I was just a little bit more sprightly for the day. And then can get stuff done. Do you know what I mean? But I'll tell you what, it's a middle-aged thing really. But this is what I've been most excited about this week. You will laugh at this.
Here we go.
Because it's nice weather, we've got some new outside furniture. So we've been like setting new lights up on the on the outside space that we've got. And there's nice furniture. And we're just like, isn't it like? And then you just stand and you look at it. And then when it gets dark, and then the solar lights come on, you just stand there looking at it, going, oh, isn't that outside space looking beautiful? Aren't we enjoying it? But the one thing I want to ask you about this, actually, because I saw it on your wife Rita's Instagram.
Yeah.
So the one thing I need to do is jet wash the patio, right? And it's one of my favorite.
That's on my list. That's on my list as well.
I messaged. I saw Rita put it on her Instagram, and I messaged her saying it's literally my favorite thing to do, mate. To jet wash that, cleaning house, isn't it? That jet wash, to see all that muck come away, and it's very much similar to our sobriety. You start cleaning all the nonsense away, and then you're seeing what's underneath, which is clean and fresh and ready to go. And I just thought, I cannot wait. And that leads me into my next point, which is, I just want to say a shout out to Andy, who came, and we've had a dodgy tap in the kitchen for ages, and it's got I think because we live in the southeast, and there's like it's hard water, and eventually all these little holes started appearing in the tap, so we had to wrap it with a cloth, because when you turn the tap on, the water was going everywhere. And it's one of those little jobs. It's one of those little jobs that you go, I'll get around to doing that. I'll get around to it, because it's not a massive job. Anyway, Andy came round. He was sweating. he just finished work. I do appreciate it, Andy. Thank you. And he fitted a lovely new tap for us, because what that means is now it's got a swan neck on it, and what it means is I can attach my jet wash fitting to it. I can get out on the balcony. I can clean the balcony, and it's very middle aged, and it's very it's very kind of those small things in sobriety that we can appreciate. But yeah, mate, I enjoy it, and it's, you know, you pop into the Range, or, you know, those shops like the Range or Benson's for Beds or DFS. I find now at my age, and also in sobriety, I can walk around there. It's like Toys R Us for adults, isn't it? You enjoy that. Oh, get a candle, get a plant. Yeah,
because I love my coffee, of course. Now the booze is gone. I literally Rita would go up the escalators to like look at the frames and the faux greenery, the plants and all that. I will veer right to the mug section. I love a mug. And literally, I'm there like gauging the weight. I'm like, if they're watching me on CCTV and security, they must think, who is this guy? Get him on the Great British, what's it called? The Great British Pottery Throwdown or something. Maybe that should be my new thing. But with the jet wash, Rich, we needed to get one for ages. We'd do our steps at the front of the house, and we got a little decking bit at the back. But by the time we got it connected with the right hose adapter, see, if you're watching, I'm doing the hand movements here. If you're listening, look, I should be on Give Us a Clue.
It
sounds like 3 syllables on all of that. By the time we got it connected, I had only about 45 minutes to go to work. I was like, I've got to have a go on this before I go to work. Like, I was itching. So I did about 20 minutes worth of the decking, then I begrudgingly handed over to Rita, who, as you said, mate, posted, and she loved it. I found it, and she did, so therapeutic. Like you say, just seeing all the old crap go. And I love that analogy, just like underneath us all with all this cloud of anxiety and depression that alcohol can bring us underneath. We're all, we're shining souls, aren't we? But it's been a good week. A little shout out to my mate Adam, actually. He listens to the pod. Brilliant comedian. The kindest guy. Adam, hi, if you're listening. I'm really proud of you. Basically, he's been getting some help from Andy's Man Club.
Oh, yes.
And
very
he
good.
Completed at the weekend the 3 Peaks Challenge. So hop onto his Instagram, Adam Moss Comedy. Lovely guy. You can sponsor him there. He's done it. I'm so proud of him. And my goodness, that kind of organisation does so much for men our age, men of any age, just helping the conversation. And Rich, on the back of that, we had a lovely invite this week, didn't we, onto the Safe Harbour pod?
Yeah, it was lovely. We had a good chat with Jamie Robbins, who is the host of the Safe Harbour podcast. And it was just, he got in touch and he said, I'd love you guys to come on. I've found your podcast and I really enjoy listening to it. And I have a sort of men's mental health and what it means to be a man, and especially in this modern era, the pitfalls and the positives and stuff. And he said, would we come on and we talk about our journeys and stuff about getting sober? And we had a lovely, lovely chat with him. What a lovely guy. Yeah, give it a listen. Safe Harbour podcast. There's plenty of episodes on that. I listened to another couple of episodes previously that he'd done on there, actually, and it was really nice. And we had a great chat with him, and we unpacked a lot of stuff, and I think he related to a lot of what we were saying, and also he could see moments and things that happened in our life that he could relate to, and hopefully his listeners can relate to as well, can't they, Ben?
Yeah, completely. And it's just so nice that through starting the pod, we've been invited on, and again, through having a nice chat to Jamie, hopefully our stories and roots into sobriety and what it brought to our lives will help some of his listeners and viewers. So yeah, do check him out. I think the YouTube edit is up there. It's Jamie's Men's Coach. He's all over TikTok. It's really good, really good messaging and content. So that was just really lovely that through our podcast, which is growing really beautifully, that we've been invited on to share our story with other people. So it's just really rewarding. I feel really proud about it. Well, I don't feel proud about it, Rich. I love my little morning walk.
Yeah.
I really should have. I don't know if my neighbours listen to the pod. I know Ange does over the road. Hi, Ange, over the road. The shutters are shut, so she can't see me. But I was going for my little morning walk, and I must have had a particularly fibrous breakfast, Rich. I think it was last Friday. And I thought, you do the little check, and I thought, I've got to break wind here. How 1950s am I? Break wind. I'll just say I've got to fart here. I've got to let rip. Let out a crackerjack. So out it popped, and I thought I was safe, and literally, simultaneously, mate, this woman popped up behind her head. She was gardening.
It's always going to happen.
Oh, mate, I had shaming hangovers over the years, but this might have been a close non-alcoholic induced, parity to it. And I just smiled, and she just gave me a look. I think she was just really confused. So, my God, yeah, if it was slightly odorous further down the road here for a few minutes, I hold my hand up. It was me. And also, I think it was karma, because that morning as well, with breakfast, I'd had a fight with the butter, Rich, in the kitchen. Like, we've got a nice butter dish. We've got the butter in there, and some mornings it looks like it's been savaged. I swear Rita attacks the butter. I tried to go for the nice, smooth left to right jobby, but I was like tackling with the butter. I getting my fingers caught on the buttery like paper inside as well. And literally, I did do for fuck's sake. Like, and then I thought, you know what? If farting in public and having a fight with the butter is the highlight of my angst, I'll take that these days after all the stress that drinking gave me. So, yeah, apologies to the neighbours, apologies to the butter. And also, one weird thing. I was in my little delivery van, mate. I was passing this pub and I saw this guy walking past it, just like peering in. And I thought, I wonder if he's doing what I used to do, mate. And you can tell me if you ever had this level of like paranoia. Some mornings I would wake up not remembering leaving the pub.
Yeah.
Or if I was on tour, then walking past the bar I had been in, so paranoid of like, did I leave on good terms with people?
Right,
I'd sort of look in and see if there was any damage, or even occasionally in the past, passing like, if with a raging hangover and that paranoia, walking past like a police block, or if there'd been an incident, just thinking, God, was I involved in that? And literally, it would, honestly, mate, literally it would ruminate with me for days until, weirdly, the police barriers would go, or I'd gone back into the pub for another pint after that particular night, just for like, I call it the clearance.
Yeah.
But how ridiculous. Did you ever have that? I just think like that extreme level of paranoia. And when I saw this guy, I had that little feeling. I was like, thank God I don't have to have that in my life anymore. It's kind of crazy.
Well, my sort of drinking and my sort of, addiction career, it was kind of it got to the point where it was like a lot of it was just behind closed doors on my own. It was like down the supermarket or the offie and then home.
Yeah.
So the paranoia that I used to get was like, I'd have the curtain shut and I'd be peering out with the anxiety and the paranoia, thinking the SAS are about, or the police are outside. They're gonna come in and get me. So then I would be like having to like bolt the doors and stuff. That was where I don't think I ever walked past like a pub and thought, oh, there's something going on, or was I part of that last night? It was more to do with like, I was so insular in my my addictive habits that it was in the house, and then I got to a point where I didn't want to leave the house because I thought like I'd be arrested, or someone was coming in the window, on the ropes from the roof and stuff, which is just completely ridiculous, and my mind was elsewhere. But yeah, I can appreciate that. I can appreciate the paranoia and that anxiety of feeling that you were involved in something that you didn't know that you had been, because it's just, as we know, it completely clouds us, and we do things that are out of character and are not natural, or quote unquote normal. But yeah, no, it's
nuts, isn't it? And
it's not like that today.
I mean, look at the contrast you just said there, Rich. You were in your drinking days and using days, you were there peering out of the curtains. And you've just told us and shared that you've just, you got up on Sunday morning, you had a cracking 5K before the world started moving. And how great is that? What a contrast. And
it really is.
Well done, mate. Like, well done. Mate. You've come so far. It's just, joyous. I love it. Well done.
Thanks,
so
mate.
Safe Harbour Pod was just a really lovely chat, and it's been a good week, hasn't it? And with the sunshine as well, it just feels like it's a nice, and of course the World Cup on its way. It's all good, isn't it?
Yeah, mate, it's all really good. And just going back to you saying about your shout out to your friend, your comedy friend, and he sent you a nice message. I just want to read out another message that was sent in to the podcast, which is really, really lovely. Wow. I'm just going to find the message here. I think you'll enjoy this one. So this message is from Tom Barker, a new listener, and he said,
Tom.
Hello, Tom. He said, hello, chaps. Just started listening to your podcast and wanted to say how much I'm absolutely loving it. Great chat. You seem like good blokes, and I'm sure it's going to help whoever listens. I'm personally just 2 days away from reaching 4 years of sobriety, and choosing to give up the drink was the absolute best decision of my life without a shadow of a doubt. Keep up the great work and look forward to hearing more. And that, as I said, was from Tom Barker, and that was sent a few days ago. So I would imagine that by now, Tom has reached his 4 years of sobriety.
Oh,
so Tom,
well
congratulations,
done, mate.
What a
That's
milestone.
just fantastic. Firstly, thank you for taking the time, and everyone who contacts the show. Thank you so much for reaching out to the podcast. But Tom, that's just brilliant, and you can almost feel the happiness and his enthusiasm for life come through the email, and knowing how it feels and how he'll be feeling, the pride and just how better his life is. It just brings a smile to my face. And, you know, like Tom and like myself, like you, like millions of people who've found sobriety, it's just great. But also, thank you for reaching out, because sometimes, you know, I'm guilty of that, where I think, I must drop them a note to say I enjoyed their podcast or enjoyed a little bit of content. I must start to do that more. So thank you. But what a lovely message, Rich.
It's a wonderful message, Tom, and thank you. And obviously, congratulations on your 4 years. And it's nice, as we always say, with the outreach of our podcast, we're reaching people, and people are relating, and they're listening, and they're understanding, and they're relating it to their own journeys. And it's so lovely, as we always say. Please do write into us, send us a message about your story or where you're at in your sobriety journey. We love hearing that, because it means we're doing the right things, and hopefully it's helping people on their journey. So Tom, thank you once again for your message. Ben, let's move on to who's in the frame.
Well, this week, I mentioned him to you during the week, actually, on one of our little pre-pod chats. Frank Skinner.
Oh,
Frank Skinner is in the frame this week.
Yeah.
One of my comedy heroes, fellow Brummie. I won't do the whole podcast like this. Promise, although I do miss the accent. But Frank Skinner, he's been he got sober in 1986, almost 40 years, Rich. Brilliant comedian.
Wow.
His podcast, by the way, Frank Off the Radio, co-hosted by Emily Dean. Wherever you get your podcasts, it's so funny. If you like Frank's comedy, it's just a lovely, twice a week, dip into it, 30, 40 minutes. So give that a listen if you're on your walk as well. The Sober Men pod first, of course, Rich, and then Frank Skinner Off the Radio. But it's a lovely listen. I've loved him for years, and you know, often his comedy talks about places that I used to go as a young drinker in Birmingham in my, student days. But yeah, 1986. So basically he was, he discovered drinking at 14. He was introduced to alcohol at 14. And what he loved was, at that age, there's no consequence. There's no build-up of anxiety or life pressures. You just loved the thought of making more friends through alcohol at 14. It's kind of crazy. But in 1986, he had the flu, and after the fifth day, he just couldn't keep anything down, food or liquids. And he realised that, despite that, the abstinence from alcohol could be a good thing. So he just stopped, and he said it's, obviously completely life-changing. It's gone from, taking over, he'd be sleeping on grass banks in the Midlands during his drinking days, that bad, waking up to glasses of Pernod by his bed, which is, it's heavy duty, isn't it? It's awful. But he looks back and he thinks now it suddenly gave him, there's like 36 hours in the day as opposed to 24. All that extra time, he says, to write comedy, to push his career, to find happiness, to progress in his career and in his life. And he just said that after stopping drinking as well, sometimes for about 20 years, Rich, 2 to 3 times a week, he would still dream of alcohol. That's how consuming it was in his life. Which is, have you ever had that? I don't think I have, actually. Have you?
I used to have early sobriety. I would have dreams that I'd relapsed, and I'd wake up and be like, because I'd be like the sweats and stuff, and I'd be like, it's that feeling that you've kind of that all your hard work is kind of come undone. And then I would speak to like some people in the program about it or on meetings, and they said it's very common that can happen, because obviously, I don't know, the way your brain is rewiring itself, etc., that can happen. But like a lot of people experience that they've got to a certain point in their sobriety journey, and then all of a sudden they wake up and they think, oh my God, I've drunk or I've used, and oh my God, I've ruined it all. But then you go, oh, it was a dream. So yeah, it is quite common.
Yeah, how interesting. But yeah, Frank Skinner, so sober for almost 40 years. And what I love as well, just to finish, he said it's the greatest gift he could have given his child. He's a father now, father slightly later on in life, but just being a teetotal parent, he's there, he's present. And how many times have we said in the Sober Men pod, Rich, in the podcast, that just being present for our loved ones. And, you know, I'm a proud stepfather, but I love the presence I have now if the girls need a lift or just need a bit of, you know, just a bit of support, a bit of advice. I'm there, and I'm coming from a really happy, solid rooted place. And I love the fact he mentioned that what a gift to give his child, and any child, is having a parent there who is, you know, overcoming an alcohol problem, a drug problem, but he's present, he's sober, he's going to be there when he says he's going to be there. And I found that particularly poignant as well, that he's there for his son. And so, yeah, Frank Skinner, respect. Love his comedy, love his sobriety, and 40 years, almost 40 years, Frank Skinner in the frame this week.
Well done, Frank Skinner. Very inspirational. Ben, let's talk about swapping one addiction for another. It's quite an interesting topic, isn't it? Because
very interesting.
Let's talk about the positive swaps and the sort of the dangerous ones that we don't know are happening. Because obviously some addictions destroy your life, as we know, and some rebuild it. So when the drinking stopped for you, did something rush in to fill that gap? Was there an emptiness you felt when you first quit? And did something rush in? What was it that changed? And did you find yourself feeling you needed to fill that hole with something else?
Yeah, I found it, to be honest, initially I was quite scared because there was a bit of a hole. There was a bit of a hole just daily, like time-wise, my usual drinking time after work, you know, that 6 o'clock Ben's bar period. So it's just finding something to fill that. And that was, so I remember often I'd be like, as I'm doing now, if you're listening, you can see it on YouTube, I was just like walking around a bit of, you know, odds and ends with myself. What do I do? How do I keep busy? How do I get through this to 7 o'clock to 8 o'clock when I start to get tired and ready for bed? And so I found it quite scary. But then, as soon as those benefits started to creep in, that almost filled that void of like, you know, maybe I was meant to have this period of scariness of sort of 2 and 3 weeks of feeling a little bit kind of isolated, a little bit lost, for me to allow to be open to those benefits, the sleep, the better mood, the better energy. I say loved running. I didn't love running. As I've said before, Rich, I used running to reboot myself, usually to sweat out the crap that I drunk the night before.
Yeah.
So actually all that exercise and that goodness it should have given me just wasn't helping. It was just bringing me back to like base level, really. So as soon as I did start to exercise in sobriety, even in those early stages, it was just knowing that it was another little boost, another little positive for my mind, just thinking, oh, this is actually really doing some good now. This is adding to my new happiness, to my new energy levels. It was making me more productive. So that quiet little period was initially scary, yeah, but it's soon replaced. It's soon replaced, and there's no doubt in my mind that I had to go through that little period of just, because if you think that time, most days, literally for 30 odd years, let me think, just over 30 years, I was like, drinking was my crutch, it was my go-to. If I was feeling good, if I was feeling crap, and ultimately I'd always end up feeling crap, but suddenly it's like I couldn't just have a beer, I couldn't just sit in my thoughts with a beer, I literally had to sit in my thoughts without alcohol. So looking back now, I'm grateful of that little scary, it's almost like unsettling, because you don't know what the future's going to hold. You're making this big life decision. But my goodness, as we both said, Rich, when the benefits start to appear, you start to realize, this is why I've made this decision. This is why I've had to go through this little period of unknown. So I'd say to anyone listening, anyone watching, I think that's going to happen. I mean, I feel quite lucky. I feel like I settled quite soon into my sobriety, looking back. But I think for some people, they might not have that. So I'd just say, just be patient. Just trust that, my goodness, you've made the right decision.
Yeah, I think it's true, and I think you said it there. There's almost like a bedding in period,
Yeah.
isn't there, where you kind of you're recalibrating yourself, and you feel, if you've done something consistently for so long, if it's not there anymore, there is like there is something that you're missing at that time. But obviously, as we said, the positives eventually weigh out the negatives of that, and I think there is that emptiness that you can feel is very natural. And just kind of ride that out and just sit with that, and that just takes time. And I completely agree. And
it's almost like starting a new job, isn't it? Because it's a new experience in your life. It's a massive shift in your lifestyle, in your life route.
Yeah.
So it's going to feel a little bit unsettling, but like a new job, like a new relationship, like a new experience, it soon settles. Those feelings soon settle, don't they?
They do settle down. They do, and there's obviously a lot of positive swaps that you can make from when you quit the booze. But let's just talk about sort of the ones that could be kind of disruptive and dangerous, and that people may find that they might have to that they are substituting when they give up alcohol. Of course, the classic one is food, isn't it? Food, sugar cravings, comfort eating, because something that you might, I normally have a beer here, and then you start, I think we've talked about it before, raiding the biscuit barrel and just sort of
I've
overeating.
written down, Rich, I've got biscuits for booze. That was my go-to. But
yes,
I found it's a tricky one, isn't it? Because we mentioned, I'll share it with the listeners, I don't care, but, I had the male MOT probably a few months ago, actually. Got the results back from the bloods. Everything good, thank goodness. I wanted to check. Maybe this is like another episode, Rich, as well, like for my prostate, and make sure I was cancer, just clear, just healthy. But it flagged up. I was walking around like, cock of the walk, like Peter Peacock, thinking, I'm in the clear. And then I saw one of the blood tests. It flagged up that I was potentially pre-diabetic.
Oh, wow.
So,
okay.
I thought, okay, that's interesting. And so it's just a little change of diet, and, swapping white rice for wholemeal rice, sweet potato. I love a baked potato, but not anymore. Sweet potatoes. Jacket spud, lovely. So sweet potatoes for that. But and it just been conscious, because my replacement, I've always had a sweet tooth, but Gran, bless you. If you're listening upstairs, Gran, like, she got me into treacle tart and custard every time. Oh, bliss.
Yeah,
used to
and the fondant fancies. Yeah.
Oh, Rich, Mike. We should go and bake off, my goodness. But I just love the biscuit barrel. So just have to be cautious of that. But also, we have to have a little, we stopped drinking, and we've got to have a little treat, haven't we? So I try and find a nice, but I try not to beat myself up if I have, one bourbon too many. I just think, what, compared to the grief and the anxiety and the depression that alcohol gave me, a few biscuits aren't bad. But of course, like with anything, there's levels of that, isn't there? There's levels of finding a new coping mechanism.
It's when it creeps into becoming obsessive, because drinking, using, all that kind of stuff, that becomes obsessive. It becomes your nature, your culture, all that kind of stuff. And so once that goes and you fixate on something else, as and addicts will recognize this, I'm sure, because the brain works in a way where you get obsessed and you can't stop doing something, right? And so if you are eating a bucket of biscuits every day, the odd biscuit here and there an evening with a cup of tea, fine. But if you're eating a packet of biscuits on a daily basis, that might not be necessarily good for you and for health as well. But it's not. I mean, it's not just limited, is it, to food? Obviously, you've got things like shopping. Shopping addiction can be a big thing for people, just because I guess what it is that it's that dopamine, isn't it? It's that hit, that something that you're getting, that high that you're getting from doing something. And obviously you can spend a lot of money online shopping. That sort of delivery that arrives. Oh, I love it. The Amazon delivery's here. Oh, great! Let's go and collect it from the front door.
It's so easy to do, isn't it? So easy.
Yeah, it is, and it's just, and I think it's very normal once you quit the booze that other things like that can creep in. Eating, overeating, shopping, even scrolling, like doom scrolling, or like, I mean, again, for us, like we check our numbers on the, on the views on YouTube and the hits and all that kind of stuff, because you want to know that something is having a positive impact, of course. But if you're chasing that consistently, that kind of, that can be, if you're not achieving where you want to, that can be sort of a little demoralizing for you, and then you can kind of throw the towel in. And then, of course, if things are not going well, if we're not protected, we can also find our way back to the booze and the drugs. I think
that's a brilliant point, Rich, that via the scrolling society that we have, I'm guilty of it, but luckily now I'm in a good place mentally where I can be supportive of people succeeding on there. Yeah. I can see when something isn't for me, but it is bad. My goodness, before you know it, you've done 30 minutes, 40 minutes of scrolling, and it, like you say, if you're not in a good place, that can really put the anchors on your mood for the day, can't it? I think first thing in the morning, like for instance this morning, I've got a Fitbit, but they've updated their app. So in the morning, and this is a big thing for me. I was going to mention at the end of the pod, but for me, one of my big addictions now is checking my sleep. I love seeing my sleep pattern on my Fitbit watch.
Yeah, of course.
It's nuts, really, because I can tell in myself if I've had a good sleep. I can tell that, I know that I'm rested. My mind is rested. I'm feeling good for the day. But I just love to see it. It's almost like a confirmation that if my sleep's good, if I've got my 7 hours, then I can start the day. And literally, if it's 6 hours 58, 6 hours 59, I am probably like, oh man, why did I do that minute of scrolling before bed last night? It's a real thing. But it's kind of like, it's kind of nuts, really. But so Fitbit, I think they may have sold to Google Earth or something anyway. Like, bloody tech. And it was the worst time of day this morning, Rich, starting your day with a tech issue. Yeah. And I was pissed off with myself. I just wish I'd sat with my coffee. We open the windows, just ease into the day. Yeah. But because of my addiction to checking my sleep on my Fitbit every morning, suddenly I was in this tech hell of having to change passwords, resync my watch. And I could feel it physically, Rich, my angst, just like, But I was annoyed. I did it, but I was like, why has that been the start to my day? And I was annoyed with myself. So there's things which are supposed to help you can give you angst, and there's so many hurdles to navigate, aren't there? But finally, from tomorrow I can check my sleep, the scrolling, the doom scrolling. But I say it time and time again, just don't get on your phone before bed. But it's worryingly just a natural go-to, I'm sure, for a lot of listeners too. But in the morning, and it was proof of the pudding this morning, from waking up chilled with my coffee, just looking out in the bed, suddenly I was like, my ante was up. Do you know what I mean? I was like, I've let tech win the morning, and that pissed me off.
It's true. It happens, and it's easily done, because also if we've stopped drinking, you're filling that with something else. Yeah. But also, I think another one is, I think it's quite natural to throw oneself into work, like it's almost that feeling of, well, I'm sober now, I have to achieve. And so you work too hard. Of course, it's finding a balance, but working hard, I must achieve. I've wasted time, and I'm guilty of that myself. I'm definitely.
Because I was going to ask you that. Does it become all consuming initially, the work side of life?
Yeah, because you feel, once my head was clearer, I'm like, I feel like I'm progressing into a healthy space now, and I want to achieve, and I feel like I've wasted a lot of time. So I kind of worked hard, and you almost at a point where, when this was during lockdown, there wasn't much else to do other than work, really. And I was working on the building site in the day, and I was delivering for Uber Eats and stuff in the evening. So I was doing, most days I was doing a good 12, 13 hour day, but I think I needed that did help me in because it was structured, and I was like, well, there's nothing else to do. I can focus on my sobriety, and I can focus on earning some money and work, right? But I think once the world has opened up, if you're doing that all the time, and that is your distraction, that I think that perhaps might not be the healthiest position to put you in, put yourself in, because you face burnout at the end of the day, isn't it? So I think it's I think it's very natural. I think, food, sugar, comfort eating, doom scrolling, shopping, hitting that dopamine, those hits of views and you could reach burnout. So I think I would suggest, again, not to tell anyone what to do. If you're suffering any of those kind of, let's call them side effects of giving up the booze, sit with it. Like let it absorb it and understand that it's perfectly natural, because I think we might be at a point where you start questioning, are we growing or are we just scared of slowing down? Because you got to that point where you're like, well, this is really good. I feel really good. I've got to do all this stuff. And if I don't do all this stuff, if I don't throw myself into work, if I don't go shopping, if I don't get out and about, I'm going to slow down and I'm going to regress in my sobriety. That isn't necessarily true. Sometimes it's okay to plateau for a bit and just recognize where you are.
But it gives you like that calmness, Rich. You're spot on. Michael, what have you had for breakfast? You're on 5. You had like a spinach juice.
No, I'll tell you what my breakfast consists of at the moment. It's really good. I get some frozen fruit, and then I just defrost it so it's nice and soft. Yeah. I put a cup of porridge oats, and then I put a couple of tablespoonfuls of natural Greek yogurt. I put a banana, a little bit of honey, mix it up. That's my breakfast. It starts me off well. Honestly, I do like it.
Mate, I'm coming to yours with some brekkie to sit on that nice balcony. But Rich, the sobriety, the calmness sobriety has given me.
Yeah.
You mentioned there that initially you were filling the void with chucking yourself into work, wanting to achieve as quickly as possible. With my sobriety, I find the calmness it's given me, and you're dead right again, is that you've got that plateau that, yes, when I'm almost like I switch into work mode and I'm super driven. I'm more driven than ever to succeed with the pod, with my career. Do you know what I mean? It's like I'm more, because I've got the energy, I've got the spark, I've got the drive, but also the flip side of that, which I love and enhances that side as well, is when I am off work, I'm off work. I can sit. I'm not looking at people thinking, oh, they're achieving this, they're achieving that, when I am, scrolling through. I've got the calmness, I've got the confidence to sit, to recharge, which is only going to help me when I am looking for work, when I'm making connections. The connections have rocketed, which then has led to more work. So never forget that when you are sober, push work. And of course, that's important. We want to achieve, we want to feel good in our careers, to make ourselves proud, to make our loved ones proud. But also take that opportunity when you can, flip the laptop down, just sit. Yesterday, Rich, yesterday I was up at 4 a.m. I was in my little Postman Pat van up in Lancaster near the lakes. What a beautiful start to the day.
Yeah.
And I was exhausted, but I got back. I was so proud of myself. Like, I've done another shift, tick. And I was in the garden, denouement of the Premier League, radio on, in my shorts, probably scared the neighbours if they were peeking over the fence with my little podgy tummy tum. But it's just great, and just clear-headed, feeling good, feeling calm, that it's just a lovely feeling, isn't it? That, I'm not just thinking bank holiday weekend, booze. Sobriety gives you the drive for your career, but also for me, and I think for you, that we just appreciate our time away from work, don't we? Like and what I wanted to ask you actually as well, like when you look back at your career, when you were using, when you were drinking, do you beat yourself up ever, mate? Like, you've achieved so much. Your CV is bonkers, so good. But do you ever think, oh man, I'm annoyed with myself that I've kind of curtailed a bit of potential when I was using and drinking?
I think that is definitely part of my psyche. I definitely think, could I have achieved more? Could I have, worked more? Could I have played better roles? Could I have, I think definitely. I think that is, probably continues to be part of my thought process. But that being said, everything that did happen, and every job I did, and every fuck up that I created has got me to this point.
Yeah.
Do you see what I mean? So I kind of go, can I regret any of that wholeheartedly. I regret certain decisions I made and things that I said and did, of course. But if I went back, would I change it? If I could go back and, to pre-birth and remove the addictive gene that I seem to carry, yes, I think I probably would do that. But what I try to do now is harness that experience that I've garnered and try to use it in a positive way, because I can't, as we know, we can't change the past. We can't change anything. I wish we could, but we can't. But what I try to do is not beat myself up too much about lack of growth in those years, because I think I was growing in a certain way, because it got to me to a point where I could recognize that behavior now. And also, I think I don't want to berate myself too heavily moving forward, because as we both have done, we've moved past it, and to live in the past is not necessarily good. Listen, we love a bit of nostalgia. Positive past experience is great, but if you draw too much on the negative and use it as a stick to beat yourself with, that's no good can come from that, in my opinion. So yes, I did do that to myself, and I do look back and go, probably that particular contract, I could have got more out of it, just enjoyed it more, because I was in a really bitter place, a bitter place where I was not enjoying stuff. I do wish that I was able to enjoy stuff a little bit more. But moving forward, what I like to think now is that, well, I've still got, touch wood, a lot of time ahead where I can achieve, and I can maybe achieve those goals that perhaps I maybe could have achieved when I was younger. And it's trying to find the positive swaps now. Do you know what I mean? Like not drinking, not taking drugs, and not partying, and being responsible. That being responsible is a healthy swap.
My knees are crumbled from running. Like, I've got osteoarthritis. I think it's like a degeneration of the cartilage in my knees. And
right.
So running is a bit of a no-go these days. I'll walk the park run or really slowly plod it, but I have to walk and just accept that. But my goodness, I'll take that. I will take that as a problem over the mental problems that alcohol gave me. I'll take having dodgy knees, any day of the week. And it's just so interesting. And I love what you said there, mate, as well. Like, we've got so much to look forward to in a healthy state. And, we've replaced, and this is massive, I think, we've replaced the alcohol and, the using with a healthy mind, a healthy body. And that has given us the chance to make the most of our lives, to be as healthy as we can for our loved ones. And that's huge. That is huge. And I think that's a massive, self-responsibility, don't you? That for years we just jeopardized. I mean, it's quite selfish, really. I never thought that, well, maybe I should sort myself out because my family will want to see me live longer, that my family will want to share experiences with me. That never came into the equation. How fucking selfish. And it's just a lovely feeling, isn't it, to know that, through sobriety, we're given the best self of staying as healthy as we can.
That's true, and it's prolonging, isn't it? We want to live as long as we can, and so that means that we need to replace the negative that we were doing with the positive that we now do. And there is so many ways of doing that, but you can't see that when you're deep in the madness. Like, you can't see, like, you might go, oh, I should go to the gym, or I should do, but you can't motivate yourself to do that. You can't
mentally, you can't physically, you're just in such a bad space. And I've said before, just being in bed, unable to get motivated, or if I did go for a run, I remember peeling my running socks on, taking about 20 minutes to do my shoelaces up on my runners and just plod. Oh God. So how nice when we do find these things, which we do in sobriety, of replacing the addiction. You've got the energy to actually do it and do it properly and do it quickly. And one of the big things, Rich, I'm so proud of the podcast. from an idea. Look at it. We're being invited onto other people's podcasts. That's a massive replacement for me. We're always working on it. We're getting feedback from people, and that's a huge thing. It's like a massive glowing replacement. It's like, for me, it's like the new 4 Carlings on a Monday night and the 3 damp Marlboro Lights. Do you know what I mean? It's like, and I think if people who do it are sober, entering sobriety, if you can get a little project on the go.
Yes,
like this
agreed.
was just an idea, wasn't it? And look, we've done it, and you've got the kind of the oomph, the rev to get something going. Whereas, when I was drinking, it just would not have happened. Oh, God.
It's true. It's again a positive, healthy swap. Being creative. This helps us with the creative side of us. We've created the podcast to help other people to share our journeys, but it could be anything. It depends what someone's interests are. You could build something. You could write a song. You could whatever a new hobby, whatever that healthy replacement is. You can also become. I mean, to be honest, once you see yourself moving forward positively, you can become addicted to that growth, can't you? Like, and you're seeing those changes, and it kind of
addicted to the gratitude it gives other people, the appreciation it gives other people, and when people say, "Oh." When we do get feedback, it is a lovely little pat on the back because we're doing something good with our lives. And again, when listeners and viewers achieve and start achieving, just accept it. Say, "Oh, thanks. Yeah, I do feel really good," because it's bloody lovely.
It's true. So I would say the real goal it's finding the balance, isn't it? Because would it be fair to say that sometimes healthy habits could become unhealthy if you become too obsessive about them? Would you say? I mean,
I could imagine the one thing for me, if my knees could, I would be addicted to running.
Really?
Because I got such a good endorphin hit from that. Actually, even when I was drinking, I'd still feel better. I'd always feel in a better place. But then the dehydration would kick in and I'd feel grey again. Like, ugh. But I think that would be, I don't know if I'd end up doing it at Tough Mudder or ultra marathons, like fair play to people who do that. But perhaps I could see myself heading into that route, or doing more marathons, and but now now that because of my knees I just can't. But I also think maybe the gym as well, because that's an aesthetic buzz, isn't it, when you see yourself as a bloke maybe getting a bit bigger and people saying, "Oh, you're looking good," and maybe I'm maybe that's a little bit of my ego, but I do enjoy when people say, "Oh, you're looking nice today, mate." But it definitely won't be the woman from behind the bush up the road, that's for sure.
So it's true. So as we said, so it's finding balance, sort of recognizing when that obsessive disruptive behavior creeps in. Very normal to replace one addiction for another. It's very natural, and I think if anyone is listening, my suggestion would be don't worry about it, just be aware of it and sort of have that self-awareness to recognize if it's a disruptive swap, if it's becoming too obsessive, and try, as we said, maybe try something new, join a club, do something, replace it with a healthy habit, but always keep an eye on what is serving you and not what is not being negative. I mean, you've got for us it's that middle-aged man starter pack, isn't it? We start getting involved in like, what air fryer recipes and like electrolyte sachets and
Rich, I bought these like silicone inserts for the air fryer. They're amazing.
Oh, really? Interesting. You'll have to tell me about those.
Reduces washing up, increases productivity.
It's very good. I like that. It's a good advert. It's
actually, I've only got 6 GCSEs. I've surprised myself there, Rich. But it's funny, isn't it? It's like we got an ice bath. There seemed to be a couple of years ago the ice bath phase, and everyone was doing it.
Yeah,
and it was. I did feel better afterwards.
Yeah,
but then of course I don't know if this is just me, but again, after 2-3 months of doing it, I think it got a bit mucky. I didn't clear it out, and it's been around the house, like the side of the house, growing moss now ever since then. Okay. But at the time, it's like the new thing, and it did make me feel good. But I think you've really got to find that's a good thing about sobriety. Find something that you're really passionate about. Like in hindsight, I probably didn't enjoy hopping in freezing bloody cold water every day, but I do enjoy chatting about my sobriety with you via the podcast, helping people. So, I'll always stick with this, but an ice bath at 6 o'clock in the morning, maybe not so. Coffee, I go on about coffee a lot, and I love my coffee, and I'm not a coffee snob, but when we get, treat ourselves to something a bit more special, a bit more pricey from Tesco, it is like, oh, this is nice. This is a nice coffee. Yeah. And a new fascination. The middle-aged man walk with your hands behind your back. So I think because I'm driving around, half the northwest now delivering, I really noticed like a good solid chap with I do it in garden centres, the little two hands behind the back. Yeah. Well, I saw a guy, it's my new favourite. I was going to stop and ask for his name if he was on the socials, get him on the pod. He was walking like he was solid as so straight backed, great posture, but with just the one arm tucked behind his back. I thought, God, is that the Admiral Duncan or Napoleon?
The one arm walk, yeah.
The one arm walk. I was like, that's impressive.
And then you walk, and then you just that I know that walk, that either one arm or the two arms, and then you kind of just stop, and you just look up at nothing, and you're like, what? What's he looking at? It's just, oh yeah, everything's fine. Yep, continue my walk. Yeah, I get it. Well, I also think like, mate, we can also get obsessed with like gut health and protein shakes and it's true because when you stop drinking and you start getting healthy and you start putting positive swaps into your life, your algorithm it knows like literally all of a sudden your algorithm's getting flooded with calisthenic military workouts and clips about fasting and 5 a.m. morning routines and stuff. It knows, and it's so I guess what we're saying is that be aware of it, but try and make those positive swaps, but don't berate yourself too much if you find yourself having a few more biscuits. It's all balance, isn't it? That's what we try to do. And
well, you've got me worried now, Rich. My algorithm's going to throw up flatulence cures for middle-aged men.
You can get those, but I did see actually online you can get those flatulence pants, can't you? That actually,
yeah, I've seen them.
When you flatulate, is that a word? When you flatulate, it actually keeps so it doesn't smell. Keeps it in the pants. Yeah, it must be horrific when you take those pants off, I'd imagine. But listen, we're going off on a tangent. Do you know what would be interesting? Actually, I'm going to throw this out to the listeners if they want to write if they want to write in at the sobermenpod@gmail.com. Write in and tell us what's your weird sober obsession. Like, what kind of things did you get into once you stopped drinking? Was there something that took over and you got really obsessed and addicted to that? It'd be quite interesting to hear from the listeners. You can also send us DMs as well on the Instagram. Yeah, really good question. I thought I'd be quite interested to read those. Yeah, as I said, there was the email address. You can also DM us at the Sobermen on Instagram. I guess the takeaway, Ben, would be we're probably never going to remove that human need for comfort or purpose or stimulation. But the goal is awareness, isn't it? And sort of balance and just healthier coping with stuff.
Yeah. And when you're sober, your brain, it's more accepting to more information. You have the capability to absorb more information. Yeah. So I think you're spot on, Rich. It's sobriety can just it's giving you the tools to find the right things that are going to make you feel happier. Whereas before, in drinking and using days, that your brain's just shut down. There's no scope for self-improvement, I found.
Yeah, no, I agree. And it was, I enjoyed that conversation. Another lovely one on the podcast. As you can hear, I'm getting a little croaky again. That seems to be happening a lot.
It's Colin Croak just rode into town.
Colin Croak has just arrived. So let's have a little drink of the week. So our little feature on the week, if you're new to the pod, what we do here every week, we have a little soft drink of the week, something that could be refreshing, could be a hot drink, but particularly today, because it's hot outside, I've gone for a cold one. So if you're watching on YouTube, I'm going to hold it up to the screen, but for all the audio listeners, I'll explain what it is. So Ben, this is it. I wonder if you can see that on the screen right there.
Wow.
Have a look at that. So this is...
I mean, my eye, I've got dodgy eyes. I can see it's passion fruit something.
Yes, so this is kombucha, and it's by the Juice Company, and it's low in sugar. It's passion fruit with live cultures. So that is
mate. Hello.
Healing properties. And this one is only 4 calories per bottle. It's a soft drink. It's passion fruit. I got this from Aldi. You can get this in Aldi, and it's really cheap. It's not expensive. I think this was somewhere in the region of 89p. So
really?
how good for you
Mate,
is it?
I'm
I don't
off to
know.
Aldi.
But it's all greens on the little chart they have on
Which
here.
Is good.
It's all greens, and as I said, it's by the Juice Company. It's kombucha, and this one is the passion fruit one. So I'm going to open it. There we go, and have a little taste. Oh, it's fizzy.
Look at that.
Mm.
Oh, nice. Here we go. Let's have a little sip. Thoughts?
Yes, it's nice. I thought the flavour was gonna be more rich. I thought it was going to be more passion fruit-esque, but it's not. There's a hint of passion fruit. Maybe it's the live cultures that the important bit that's taking the sort of the passion fruit flavour away from it. But do you know what? I will say it is refreshing. It comes in a bottle, a brown bottle, and it's purple label on the front. You can find it in Aldi. That's this week's drink of the week by the Juice Company. Kombucha, passion fruit with live cultures. There we go, Ben.
Thanks, Rich. That's perfect for a day like this. I love it. But yeah, just another lovely chat. Gosh, it flies by, doesn't it?
It does, mate. It really does fly by. And I really enjoy unpacking these topics and themes that we talk about, because there are so many different facets of sobriety that it's nice to unpack. And what I want us to do when we talk about these subjects is hopefully people will relate to going, yeah, I feel that same way, or I thought that, or even if they don't agree with something, they go, I don't agree with that because this happened to me. And it's just a little melting pot of little nuggets of information and stories, and us sharing our experiences that hopefully people can go, I'm not alone. Because that's what we want to try to effervesce, isn't it? That you're not alone on your sobriety journey. There are people going through it. We've gone through it, and we still go through it now. We still, it's still a daily reprieve of not drinking, but there's a community which we're part of, and we want everyone to feel welcome.
Yeah, and thank you again for all your messages. And also remember, we're completely open. If there's subjects you want us to chat about, then pop that on an email as well, or on a DM. Yeah. And what would be lovely as well, if you think, if you are enjoying the pod, and we get so many positive messages about your enjoyment of it, and we're so grateful. Honestly, it's kind of mind-blowing. But if you think you've got a few mates at work or down the pub who think might just need a little push, then just maybe if you can, just share it to sort of 4 or 5 friends, and just let's spread the word. We'd be so grateful of that, wouldn't we, Rich?
We absolutely would, and do all those things. I mean, we hear it all the time, don't we? Like, subscribe, order. I hate it. But so cringy saying it,
well, Rich. You do it so well.
But we have to say, so please do like, subscribe, follow on Apple and Spotify and all those other platforms. And as Ben said, just pass the pod, tell your friends. It really helps us to reach more people, and of course, we would really appreciate it. And that was episode 14 of Rich and Ben, the Sober Men, the podcast.
Love it. Scorchio here in the northwest today, Rich. Got your Speedos ready?
Mate, my Speedos. I found my Speedos the other day. They're in the drawer. They're too tight. I'm not going to wear them. It's going to be swimming shorts all the way.
Well, I've got to sew back on my 25-metre badge, so wish me luck.
Mate, have a lovely day, and I'll see you next time.
Thanks, Rich. Another good one. Have a great week.